This is an international podcast transmission. Is anyone out there? If you're listening, you've reached the No Fixed Agenda podcast. Welcome back, everybody, to the No Fixed Agenda podcast presented by Bubs Naturals. We've got...
What's wrong? You all right over there, bud?
Damn it, man. All I could think of you is your juices are
flowing, baby. Yes.
Anyway,
yes.
Let me get back into my mentality here. We brought another entrepreneur onto the show today, a restaurateur, somebody I've gotten to know a little bit here and there just through context that I've had. Hector Rodriguez and introduced me to him a while ago, and he's got an unbelievable Japanese fusion place down in Little Italy, downtown area, San Diego, called Cloak and Pedal.
Cloak and Pedal.
If you really enjoy sushi flavor of food, definitely check it out. If you're San Diego based, because it's amazing. And as you'll hear in the podcast, it's very eclectic as far as what they've done it, the artwork and everything. It's kind of an art piece versus and a restaurant at the same time. So Cesar came in, and quite honestly, this was kind of nice. I've been on his podcast before, or one of his former podcasts, I guess. And so but I didn't get a chance to ask him a lot of questions based on me being there, because it was all about myself, my business and stuff. So it was really fun to kind of hear a little bit more of his backstory and some of the mental stuff that he puts himself through as far as recovery and self-care. And it was really cool to really hear that, because I think that is a conversation piece that pops up more and more, I think, as you know, in this society. And it's really cool to hear him really speaking about that and really open up about why so, and you know, what he's doing. Like, just like you, he was an addict for a while. We hear that story, and unbelievable. He talks about his former bar or restaurant he had in La Jolla, which I love. I love that place. And I had no idea that he owned it. So, but to hear some of the stories, of what was going on behind the scenes that people, that patron didn't know about. So it was really cool to hear that portion of it.
The fact that he was keeping it afloat by running to the grocery store just to... Not to let out too much, but he was like getting stuff. He was getting money in the till and then running and then having his people run to the grocery store so that he can buy more stuff. It was just kind of crazy.
Oh, yeah. Dude. Hey, go pick up 2 cases of beer.
Yeah. Talking about like treading water, bro.
Yeah.
That was so cool. But all that to say is I think Cesar was an amazing person. And this is another home run for you in picking a guest that I know that you knew I was going to resonate with him wholeheartedly. Definitely. So when he started talking about his addiction, and we started talking about the superpower of addiction, and then we started talking about all of his struggles and him wanting to like end it all. And, you know, now he's at a place, the journey of self-care and balance, and not so much he loves his business. What I'm about to say is not insinuating that he doesn't. However, the fact that he's trying to figure out a balance between his passion behind his business and now his self-care and growing and trying to grow a family, and that struggle, dude, was very powerful. I think the audience is going to love this episode because there was some emotion to it.
It was really cool, and you guys, like as you said, you guys hit it off
100%
right away.
Like,
and
it was like me and Steven again.
Yeah, it was definitely that instant connection, which made the conversation fun for me to listen to, because again, some of his stories brought up more of your story, and vice versa, which I think and that's what I've kind of learned about some of this is, as they hear you or I open up about stuff, like more of his addiction stuff came out. I think he was a little hesitant at first.
100, dude, 100%.
And it was nice to have him share that and come out with it. So you guys are really going to enjoy it. It was a really fun episode. Again,
powerful.
If you have a chance to go down to Little Italy in downtown San Diego, Cloak and Pedal is the restaurant, and you will not be disappointed. All right, let's do it. The No Fixed Agenda podcast is brought to you by Bubs Naturals. Their mission is simple: live better, longer. Bubs helps fuel people to reach their maximum human potential through supplements sourced from nature's highest quality ingredients, all by giving 10% of profits back to charity. That's right, people, 10% back to charity. Learn more about their NSF for Sport certified collagen peptides and electrolyte drink mix at bubsnaturals.com. Thanks for driving up.
Yeah, of course.
By the way.
Driving up from...
You drove it from Central San Diego, right?
Yeah, Kearney Mesa.
Oh, yeah. Kearney Mesa.
It's not bad.
It's not terrible.
He made me drive down to Little Italy, though, for his podcast a while ago. So I figure I owed him.
Little Italy.
Not a problem at all.
There's better... I don't know. There's good food in both areas, bro. You get all the good Asian food in Kearney Mesa, bro.
I know.
Dude.
We're a mile away.
Yeah. Little Italy, you get all that good, authentic Italian food, man. That shit's good, dude.
So you talk about running. So you went and paced Hector a little bit at Coco.
Yeah.
And how did you? How did that do? For
Was
you?
that at the beginning or the middle or the end when he was?
Because we had Hector on and he
yeah.
was chatting about it with us a little bit.
I think it was I saw him at mile like 130.
Ooh.
Yeah, he was struggling.
He was hurting already.
Yeah, he was. I was like, ooh, this doesn't look good. Nobody ever really looks good unless you're in the top. Unless you're in the top 5%. The rest, everybody looks just like they're struggling.
Struggle bus, you know.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I was watching some of the lives when they were like the finishers were coming across at 250, and I was like, holy, they look done, bro.
Yeah.
Like excited, but too tired to be excited, bro.
God, yeah. That's the way it always is.
Yeah.
There. So we always start with a little intro here with everybody, and it's transitioned into I don't know how this kind of started.
Dude, it started
as a weird deal. Anyway, we're calling it the business tender overview.
Okay.
So if we're
with catchphrases and all.
So
what's your hook line?
It's like your hook. Like, what would your business tender profile title be?
My business tender.
As far as what would get people here's a great example. What would get people to come in down to like Cloak and Pedal if knowing full well that they're coming to see you? Like in that zone of what would people want to know?
What's going to make a swipe right?
Yeah, what's going to make a swipe right? Exactly. There you go.
I'm hoping that I'm not the face of the company, for one. I'm hoping I'm not the reason they're coming down there. I have a lot of friends that come down, but are you saying specifically for me or for the business?
No.
And I embody that ready for all mentality. And I really embrace it on a daily basis. Like I live my life that way. And that's something that it would just say ready for all. You know, I don't, it would literally probably just say that because I've been through so much over the course of entrepreneurship and just like healing that everything that I do now supersedes everything in my life. Health based supersedes business. Like I worry more about my health and my mental well-being than more time that I put into my business.
Wow. Now, as that kind of transition, as the later you've gotten or the longer you've been in business, has that kind of transitioned into that?
Yeah. If you would have caught me 12 years ago, are we like, could I say anything in here?
You can say whatever you want, man.
Hey, dude, the title's No Fixed Agenda, bro. So we take the conversation, not scripted, bro. So you say whatever you need to say.
Yeah, I've been sober for 8 years from drinking. And if you would have saw me 10 years ago, I was blowing lines in nightclubs and bars and having fun and drinking and spending my money that I didn't have. So blaming the world for how fucked up my life was. We're all victims at some point, right? We all play that card. And at times we find ourselves now, I still find myself like, fuck, why is this happening to me?
Yeah.
But I very quickly snap out of it because of the practices, the routines, the disciplines, the modalities that I use on a daily basis that help me keep me grounded. I surround myself with powerful people who call me out. Like if you're in my circle, you have a green light on me all the time to tell me, hey, like
I live by that, bro.
And if you don't have the courage to tell me that, then we can't be friends.
Yeah. If you ain't got the cojones to tell me anything and everything.
Omar, I got stuff to tell you.
Yeah, you always do, bro. Hey, you always do, bro. Like
So you're speaking the right language here. If you haven't listened to any of the episodes we've done, Omar's gone through that same exact shit. Yeah. And not a lot, but some of the episodes that we've done have based itself around the addiction aspect of it and what the other side looks like. And so hearing you talk about all that stuff, and I know you got a few things that you want to say.
I'm letting you, hey, he's your guest, bro. You brought him to the table, but I'm liking him a lot right now.
Omar just swiped right on me.
Yeah. I've already swiped. I'm sliding into your DMs right now, bro. I'm sliding into your DMs right now, bro.
Powerful thing. And I love the fact that you say that surrounding yourself with people who have the full green light to call you out on the BS portion of it. And people should have a team of people around them or a group of people around them that should have that availability and aren't scared to do that. And it's nice. And I wish more people would probably do that. I mean, as I've gotten older, I know everybody's the same. As you get older, your friend circle becomes very large, all the way down to a very small group.
Yeah.
And I used to be one of those people that used to love having, I got my friend circle over here. I got my friend circle over here. And then all of a sudden now it's okay. I can hang out with the same fucking 6-7 people and I am good. I don't need to deal with it. I know where those people are coming from. I know what they would tell me if something is going wrong or they need me to change. And so it's cool to hear you say that as well.
I talk about this a lot with my clients one-on-one. I own a gym. And so any of my one-on-one clients, I have this deal where if somebody wants to dedicate 1 year of their fitness to me, I meet with them once a month. And one of my go-to topic is because they're literally changing their lives, right? They're going from not being healthy mentally, physically, spiritually, and they're trying to get their stuff together. Usually something tragic happened. I'm divorced. Somebody died, something like that. And it's an event that goes, shit, I don't have my shit together because I just got hit by a truck and I'm laying on the ground here. And so concept of this circle of your people, I tell them, I talk about it a lot when I say I manage all my relationships in a concentric circle. In my circle where I'm standing right in the middle of it is my tribe. Like those are the 4 or 5 people. When I say, hey, I got a body to bury, they don't flinch. And they go, oh, okay, where are we burying it? I did something really stupid, and they will whoop the shit out of me if I need to be whooped, or pat me on my butt when I need to be pat on my butt. Like those are the people that I have in my tribe, and it's few and far. I mean, if it's more than 6 people, it's crowded. That's why it's the smallest circle. And then you have your friends that comes outside of that. And those are the people that have access to you, but only a certain percentage. And then you have your acquaintances, the people that know of you, social media, maybe they see you on the street, they'll say hi, but they really don't. And then you have your general population. And I talk about this. I manage every one of my relationships in that perspective. And whether you are a friend, it doesn't mean that I value you less. You're still a human being. I'll still love you no matter what. You just get less of my love because the people that are closest to me get more of it, right? And so family members are my friends. And sometimes family members are acquaintances, like legit, right? And so I got some family members that are fucked up, right? And so you might be pushed out to general population, but you might be my cousin, but or my brother, but still you're not about what I'm about. And if you want to be what I'm about, then get on the program, stop being a victim, pick up your shit, and let's go. And so I love that you say that. Before we get into all this other relationship and your addiction and all that stuff, back it up a little bit because I'm going to get fired up right now.
He swiped right.
Yeah, I already swiped. I already I
already got it.
I'm figuring out where we're going to go get coffee or whatever. Yeah. This is what I'm figuring out. Like, where are we meeting afterward?
I already got 10 messages in my DM.
Like stage 5 clinger. No. Talk to us about your business and what it's all about. And I love Ready for All, and that's going to be a podcast. Talk about the podcast first and talk about your business.
My current business or how I got into the business?
Yeah, how you first talk about first talk about the podcast. When is that going to launch? So
for the podcast we've been working on slowly. We had one out for 3 years. Jeff was on it. I had a lot of great guests. We started it like the week before COVID. So we had about 23 episodes, all video episodes, really well put together.
Yeah, it was.
It was something we were proud of. I think we just wanted to go in a different direction. When I talk about something, when I do something, I want to be fully vested into it. I want it to be passionate about, and the people on our team have to be in alignment with that, or it's just not authentic. Yeah. And so right now I'm in the restaurant industry. I have a little bit of real estate that I'm doing Airbnbs on, and I'm building an ADU, my first detached full construction ADU project. I've done a lot of partial full remodels, but nothing from the ground up where we like lay foundation and all that stuff. Ooh. And it's been fun. Like I love, is that back in? Okay. Yeah. I love the process of creating and building. My dad's been in construction his whole life. I somehow missed the ship on how to use a hammer, but
it's okay. Some of us are not good with our hands, right?
but it's crazy that I have the ability to be a superintendent and like schedule workers, subcontractors, and organize them in a timely manner.
That's a trait in itself, bro. Yeah. Straight up.
And so I really enjoy that. The restaurant, Cloak and Pedal, we've had it. We're going to be 7 years in December. Mm-hmm. I opened that up in 2017. After I'd shut down my business, my bar and nightclub of 10 years. We can get into that if you want to.
Yeah, I guess I didn't know that you had that first one, I don't think.
Yeah, I started out in 2007, right before the recession. Had saved a bunch of money, had crashed and burned like 3 times. So I was like, all right, this is the last one. Bought the existing bar that I was working at. And it was a fucking nightmare for 10 years. Yeah. I mean, I say that jokingly, but it really was. Like it was, you know, I bought this business. When I bought it, it was cranking. It was like nightclub.
Where was it at?
It was in La Jolla.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember the old Excelsior.
Oh, yeah.
No, I don't.
That was you, huh?
So I bought that from the owner.
Okay.
Turned it into Prospect. Thought it would translate over.
Oh my God, yes.
And-
Okay.
and
we
we-
love that place, actually.
Yeah. And then we would literally open on a Friday and there would be like this one lady that would come in and listen to, have headphones on and dance her own music. And then my parents would roll in. And after a few weeks, my dad said, is there anybody else coming?
Oh.
And I was like, I don't know. But we were so young. We didn't care. We would sit at the bar, drink beer, go to the back, do line.
You're the drug dealer that's a dope fiend that is getting high his own supply at
for
that
sure.
point.
Yeah.
100%.
And there was nobody in there. We didn't have food yet. We hired a girl that was like 19 straight out of culinary school. It was a fucking nightmare. It was truly.
Sounds like a circus, bro.
So it was. The first month in sales was $1,800. My rent was $18,000. So you think about like for us to last 9.5 years is incredible. Like how we did that. There were so many aha moments and there were so many moments where I was like, how did I push forward? So when you think about ultra athletes, like I've done that in business.
Right.
That's the equivalent of bonking at mile like 5 in a 100-mile race.
Yeah.
And like, you have no idea how you're going to finish. Well, like, you know, only bringing in 1% of your rent or 10% of your rent for the first month, we tallied up like $60,000, $80,000 in the first 6-7 months in back paid rent.
Wow.
That would have shut down 99% of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we found a way. I remember one time I was sitting there and I look in the refrigerator, my partner's right there, our other friends right here. And I'm like, there's a half a 12-pack of Corona. There's like some bottles of liquor. There's some Patron. And we got $150 in the till.
Ooh.
And my partner was like, I think this is it. Are we done? And I'm like, nah, fuck that. I'm like, here's $100. Go buy. I made him a list. Go buy this stuff. And we opened and we must have gone to Vons maybe 5 or 6 times, maybe even more. Honestly, it could have been, it was so much we were going to Vons and we'd just buy another 12-pack, buy another 6-pack, had enough for change, running downstairs to
as
get
soon
change.
as you sold something, you were going to Vons to go buy it, dude.
And I remember that day we sold like $1,800.
Okay.
And that was a lot to us because we sold $1,800 for the whole month.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh shit, we're back. And it gave us hope. And so I think that's why I'm attracted to the whole endurance thing because I've been there mentally.
Yeah.
And I was there at a time where I was fucking 230 pounds.
Wow.
I was a college athlete, had 3 consecutive surgeries on my shoulder. And my outlet was sedating myself through alcohol and drugs.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, buying a bar just, you know, made it worse, made it more intense. I just kept doing it and drinking and partying and hooking up with chicks. That's all I cared about.
Yeah.
But somehow along the way, the growth and the process really changed like how I approach things. Even though I was making shitty decisions, I was still learning and I was still learning how. Sometimes people ask me like, how do you keep going? And I'm like, sometimes you just have to figure out how to keep going. And as long as you're willing to learn in the process and on that journey, then you don't fucking quit, then you give yourself hope.
Yeah.
And for me, that's what I did.
Yeah.
And so that led to, we finally got our shit together. And I let go of it in 2017 or 2016, in December 2016. And like 2013, we had a remodel. We spent a bunch of money, but it was too fucking late. Like we were, you know, imagine a car going down a hill and it skids to make a U-turn. You want to go right back up, but we're still in this skid. Like there's money, there's bills coming out of the sky for $15,000, $20,000 that we don't remember even were there. And so we're just sitting there. We had brought partners in and they're like, is there any more debt? And my business partner, we take ownership. I take ownership of that. It was so much he didn't know. By the time it was so much coming out. And so at one point I walked away from the business. I walked out of the business. I was like, I'm ready to let this shit go, file bankruptcy. I don't give a fuck. I was on the verge of literally for 4 to 5 years that was like rock bottom for me.
You were still in your addiction at the time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There was times where I would go. I remember one time I was telling this story. I went to Vaughn's. I grabbed a box of cookies and I was walking around. I ate half the box of cookies. And it was crazy. And my buddy that owned the gym, his name's Brett Murphy. He owned La Jolla Sports Club.
Okay.
He said, he saw me. He said, you just eat half those cookies. But what he didn't realize is that was going to be my last meal. Like I was planning that day, like to fucking off myself in the car. So
that answers my question about how you were, where your head was at when you walked away from your business.
I remember one of the pivotal moments is when I was in line to pay for some of the stuff for the restaurant. I remember sitting there and there was this lady behind me, random lady, older lady. And she said, she saw it in my face and she goes, everything's going to be okay.
Yeah, baby.
Out of nowhere.
Wow.
And I looked at her and I started having tears. Like she sensed my pain.
You give me chills right now, bro.
And it gave me hope.
Yeah.
And so I decided not to fucking kill myself that day.
I think whatever you believe in, that's God, the universe, whatever it is. For me, it's God. And I say this all the time. God has a funny way of understanding who needs to be in your life at that particular moment. And most people think it's that one person that's going to be there forever. Yeah. No, it could be the one person that literally has a 5-second interaction with you that will change the course of your entire life.
She disappeared after that.
Yeah, 100%.
She was not in line, but I was in tears.
Yeah.
I had tears coming down my eyes.
I got fucking chills right now,
I
bro.
did too.
Yeah.
And I remember just thinking, I looked back and I was like, where'd she go? Yeah. And I'm not saying she's a ghost or anything. No. I don't believe that, but I do believe she was physically there. I wasn't hallucinating her. And I remember that day just thinking, just get till tomorrow. Just get to tomorrow.
Right.
And I remember coming home. I had a dream of my best friend that passed away in 2014. He was my best friend, business partner, brother. I had a dream and he came to me and he had told me, he was telling me something and I couldn't remember. And so by this time I was already starting to run and work out and do all these things. And I remember calling my friend who had helped me with healing and this whole entire process. And she said, you don't have to remember the message you don't have to remember the message to receive the message. It'll come to you. So I'm at the gym at Brett's gym, and I had been looking for this picture of my best friend Stretch. And out of this book that I've been putting off for 2 years, Conversations with God, it falls, and out of that picture, out of the book falls this picture.
Wow.
And have you guys ever read Conversations with God? Have you ever read that?
I've never heard.
Amazing book. I had held on to it for 2 or 3 years because I hated God. I hated religion. I was like, fuck God.
You're talking to me, baby. You're talking to me.
And so what I realized is that I don't have to associate God with religion. And because I'm not religious doesn't mean I don't have to believe in God.
Exactly.
I remember when I opened it up, first thing I started reading was, I will continue to sing you messages from every corner of the universe until you receive them as mine. And it was much more than that, but I fucking started crying. I went home that day. I told my parents that if I stayed, because I owed my parents money they had fucking mortgaged their house. They had pulled a second on their house.
Wow. Okay.
I had owed them like $180,000. And I was like, I don't know how I'm going to pay you back, but if I stay here and the next week I won't survive. And I fucking started crying. And my dad comes and hugs me and my mom, and they're like, we don't care about the money. Just, we want you alive. So the next day I walked out. I said, I'm done. And I walked out. I had been walking by this restaurant in Little Italy for 3 or 4 months. And I had already started conversations with the partners. They had no idea what was going on. I was smoking mirrors over here. I was like,
the addict in you was coming out, baby. Faking the funk.
I was faking the funk. I was lit, but I knew that this was my way out to get it together. It's all right. I knew that it was my opportunity to start a new journey. And I didn't know how I was going to do it. And so finally my partner, after a couple months, he wanted to stay. He wanted to fix it. After a couple months, he goes, hey dude, I'm done. I'm out of here. So we shut it down. And now I had to figure out, I tried to file bankruptcy. It was like $1,800 at the time.
You didn't have it.
I didn't have it.
I'm broke and I can't even claim that I'm broke, yo.
I lost my car. I lost my cell phone. I had rabbit ears. There was no money in my pocket.
Yeah.
And I remember borrowing money from my mom, like $5 a day. I would borrow her car and her cell phone. I would go sit outside of Cloak and Pedal at the time, empty. And there was a green box and I would count how many people would walk by. And I would sit here with my Mexican math, counting how many, 1, 2, 3, all these people. I would get numbers from local businesses, what kind of sales they were doing. And I put together chicken scratch on a piece of paper, what I thought each person would bring in based on that information. And then I convinced the owner of the building that I was a potential buyer. He didn't know what I was going through.
He didn't know you had no money in your pocket.
So I was persistent. And finally, he was like, my partners are a big deal. They own Tajima, all the ramen places. In San Diego.
Yeah.
So that gave me some clout. And then he started giving me the keys and I would go in there and I would sit by myself. It was hot as fuck. It was during the summer. It was in May, right? So by that time, May, from January, I walked out. But by the time I started getting in there, it was like May. It was hot. There was nobody fucking in there. It was just like, it was shut down. And I would sit there and I would close my eyes and I would visualize what I wanted Cloak and Pedal to look like. And then my girlfriend and I would eat mushrooms and go sit in the back room. There was another back room where we shot. Okay. And I would sit there. It was just a black room with like neon lights. And we would sit there and I would tell her what I wanted this place to look like. And it started, the needle started moving. And my partners and I would set milestones. We'd get to them. We're like, okay, what now? And then it got to the point, it's like, all right, we're ready to invest money. And I was like, I had to borrow money to file bankruptcy. I had no fucking money. But the funny thing that happened is when my dad had called me, he goes, hey, there's a check that I came in because he was helping me shred all this stuff. And when you're filing bankruptcy, like you get all kinds of fucking mail.
Yeah.
And I think this is a real check. I just shred it. It's not like nobody's going to send me money. Who the fuck's going to send me money? It was a $14,000, something like that, $1,000 check. And he goes, I think this is real. I'm like, there's no fucking way. Who the fuck would send me money? I go, it's a real fucking check. So the processing company from Prospect was holding money because they thought we were somehow some of the people who were working there were running this regular's card up, and it would always decline, but they would force it and they would put these false PIN numbers in to force it so they would get, because he'd always tip well. Well, it rang up a fucking bill of $20,000 over the course of 6 months. So they thought we were in on it and they started holding our money.
Oh shit.
So all the money that the investors put in within a week was gone because they were holding half the fucking money.
Wow.
Fuck.
So we forgot about that. So I get a $14,000 check. I tell my partner, listen, dude, we owe my dad more than anybody. I'm cashing it, giving it to him. He's like, fine. He didn't like it, but he didn't have a choice. I go to my dad. I'm like, here, Dad, this is what I have. We'll start you off with that. He goes, hold on to it. You're going to need it. And I was like, fuck. And then
what did that make you feel?
I started crying because I felt like a loser.
Yeah.
I felt like a loser. I was like, how is somebody going to believe in somebody that just crash and burn?
Are you a parent?
I'm a step parent, but I'm a parent. Yeah.
Yeah. And so like how many kids?
2 girls, 11 and 12.
And so like you think about that when it comes to your kid, that unconditional love that you give to it is what your dad just experienced, right? And I got kids that did some fucked up shit. I got kids that went through some fucked up shit. And no matter what they did or no matter what they were experiencing, it didn't matter. I gave them that unconditional, I think about how there's a saying in the Bible. It says, you got to love your wife like the way God loved the church. And I think about, dude, the church is fucked up. There's some fucked up people in the world. You know what I mean? But if God has to love these jacked up people, then I got to be able to love my kids and love my wife the same way. And that's exactly what you just experienced with your dad. So don't be ashamed of it. Be proud of it.
Oh, I'm proud of it now. But at the time I was just, I couldn't understand it. And then I had another good friend that had invested some money. I went to one of the other banks and there was still money in it. So I said, hey, this is $5,000. This is all I could give you. And he says, hold on to it. All of a sudden I have 20 G's. And then my partner said, we want to talk to you about finances. I was like, fuck, this is it. They're going to come. They're going to fucking lay it on me.
Take my $20,000.
They meet me downtown at the Marriott. No, at the Sheraton or something in Mission Valley. And we're sitting there at some bar and we're like talking. He goes, listen, we know that you're having financial trouble. And I'm like, how the fuck did they know this? I haven't really told them. We know it's a lot of money. So what we're going to do is we're going to apply $45,000 from the time you started this process until October as your buy-in. All of a sudden I had 65, 70 G's just invested in like that. Wow. And what was great about it is that, listen, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that this is going to happen to everyone. This is definitely the hand of God for sure.
Yeah.
But sometimes I think that what's wrong with people's society in today's society is they want to see proof of life first. They want to see proof of success first.
Yeah.
And in that moment, I had nothing to lose other than just to push forward. And there was something, desire inside of me, something burning that was saying, just keep going. I remember feeling, just keep going. It'll work itself out. And it did. And I filed bankruptcy officially in May of 2017. By December of 2017, I owned 30% of the company.
Wow.
Yeah. And the way they structured the deal was insane. Like I don't want to get into details, but typically I would have had to come up with a third of the money.
Correct.
And so the way they structured it allowed me to own 30% of the company.
It's awesome.
And we've been in the Michelin Guide for the last 5 years. You know,
do you know where, have you been down?
No, never, dude.
This place is legit.
Yeah. So now I got to go.
Yeah. It's a great, it's like everything about it, Cesar. The food is unbelievable, but I love the what you guys have done to like decor and the way it's set up.
Yeah.
It's just, it's really cool. Like, I don't even really know how to what would be the easiest way for somebody who's listening in as far as it's
just imagine walking into a restaurant with high ceilings and seeing two real, not like little stick trees, but like two fucking trees that I can't even put my hands around.
Yeah, they're huge. It's like
in the restaurant,
in the bar.
Yeah.
So we have a 28 seat bar.
Okay.
And inside the 28 seat bar, there's two big fucking trees that I can't even put my hands on, opposite ends.
Wow.
With big cherry blossoms that used to be olive trees. And I remember walking by it and I remember thinking, how cool would it be if those were cherry blossoms? I was thinking more like something pink avatar branches. And, you know, the rendering showed that. But as I started, that didn't really look good in real life. So one of the artists that we had hired was like, cherry blossoms will look good. I'm like, yeah, but they look cheap. He goes, dude, once they're up and they're 5 feet away from you, you put ambient lighting on it, they're going to look fucking real. And I'm so happy I trusted him.
Yeah.
And so little by little, I just started creating this entire environment. We have like pictures of Tupac and Biggie, like street pop art. And we just recently remodeled the back like 2 years ago. So now it's, when you walk in, it's like Tokyo by day. We have skylights.
Okay.
So you'll see the cherry blossoms. And in the back, there's like graffiti art, murals of Shibuya, Tokyo, Gundam on the wall.
Yeah.
There's a neon sign that says, "Ooh, baby, we like it raw."
Ooh, baby, we like it raw.
And then there's just a bunch of just like colorful art. And that's every ounce of pain, every ounce of suffering that I've experienced in the last 10 years. And some people, the majority of people love it. Some people hate it. Some people give us a hard time and say that it looks like a teenager.
Man, it is like from an art perspective, even if you're not an art lover or art fan, it's very unique in the sense that
it's different.
It's very different. And when you walk in, you get this, like you said, you got like this Asian feel on one side, and then all of a sudden you've got this like pop art and the other side with Tupac. And so it's this really cool mesh of all different types of art with it. And I've never seen anything aesthetically from any other restaurant that's like that. It's really cool. Just going in, you're like, oh my God, this is awesome.
Yeah.
What kind of food?
It's sushi.
It's sushi.
Yeah, sushi.
Okay.
But we have a lot of hot food. We have like chicken. We have, pork bellies. We have dumplings. And we have a lot of cool things that is not just sushi. We have one of the best Japanese whiskey selections in San Diego.
Okay.
Yeah. Stuff that I love.
Now, one of the things I don't think I do know, like, where'd you guys come up with a name for that?
I didn't. My business partner wanted to call it Blossom. And, but he was just like, hey, I just don't understand like why we're waiting. And I'm like, listen, like we're in Little Italy. This is like a very eclectic area. And we don't want to call it. I was torn because I didn't want to call it. At the time, there was all these businesses, A and B. There was always an and. And so it was trending out and I didn't want to do that. But for me, it took me like 3 months to figure out the name. That was one of the only arguments I've had with that business partner. He just didn't understand because when he bought his business, he had already bought the name. He didn't have to go through the creative process.
Right.
And it blew up. He was like the Red Bull in San Diego of ramen.
Right.
And so, I knew that we couldn't call it Blossom. It reminded me of that fucking show in the fucking 80s.
Yeah.
And then it also had no effort. It is nothing. There's 2 rooms when you walk in. There's like the cherry blossoms. And then there was the room that we remodeled used to be like a separate room. There was like a divider. Mm-hmm. And so I in my head, I always wanted to do like a different space back there. So I was like, I kept waiting. And this is before ChatGPT. I remember one time I was just pacing in South Park in circles. I was getting pressure from them. And I remember thinking, what's another word for flower? And I was like, petal. And then I knew right away, I was like, oh, this is good. And then he wanted to call it Cloak and Dagger. He goes, but if it's Secrecy, why can't? I'm like, that name is like trademark. We can't, you just didn't understand. And then about, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks later, it was like something clicked and he was, oh my God, I understand what you're saying now. So there was also a language barrier in understanding,
really?
Like he's Japanese, hardcore Japanese. Yeah. But that's how we came with the name. The idea was to have a balance of feminine and masculine, cloak and petal. Yeah. And then some type of distinction between Tokyo by day and Tokyo by night. And so I thought that was a solid name and we created the logo and everything else. That's all she wrote.
Yeah. Damn. I want to go back to your college, MC. You're into running as well, right?
Yeah, I run like 3-4 times a week. I battled when I first got into the endurance thing. I was in it, and then I started getting hurt a lot. Yeah, and I was doing like half Ironmans, and for 3 years I had like really bad injuries. I had a plantar fasciitis that wouldn't go away. I've had 3 surgeries on this shoulder. I've had a slap tear on this one, and both of them within the last 3 years were so bad I couldn't move them for 3 months.
Wow. And so you said you played college sports. What was your college?
I played baseball. In college. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then you got into
just athletic, just like anything from running to boxing to swimming, biking,
anything.
Yeah. And I hate all of them. I'm not like, there's never a moment other than like when I run with friends, just more about being with them. Yeah. There's nothing I love about any of these things.
But you do it?
I do it.
Why?
Yeah. You grow from it. It's just like the process of like afterwards. And I think that's what's missing in society is the forcing yourself to suffer on a daily basis. When people think that you have to go out and run 100 and 200 mile races, I'm like, you could do this shit in your backyard.
Exactly.
Yeah. And the benefits from it are immense.
Absolutely.
Like the mental fortitude that it creates, the ability, like these things force you to be present in your pain. Yeah. And so for me, I found a lot of healing in between that, plant medicine, psilocybin, ayahuasca, and then just doing a lot of internal work through like workshops, like in-person workshops, online, and then just surrounding myself with good people that hold me accountable.
So when you hit bottom, dude, I mean, I want to talk briefly about your addiction because that's my thing too, right? And so I've been clean off of methamphetamines for 24 years.
Oh, congrats.
And so, yeah. And so the challenge of understanding what people go through when they say they hit a bottom, right? And so talk to us a little bit about that and how it came about for you. You briefly went into it when you were talking about bankruptcy and being in that scenario. How'd you get clean, dude? What was that process like, dude?
Man, I was addicted to pain pills when I first started in college. After I got surgery, it was like 15, 20 pills a day. Damn. And by the time I was 22, I went to get a checkup with the doctor and he pulled me into the office and he got in my face. He goes, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. I knew him. He was like he was like our neighbor.
Got it.
He goes, I don't know what the fuck you're doing, but if you don't knock it out, you'll be dead in less than 5 years.
You were like, okay.
I was 22. My liver was like of a 65, 7-year-old man.
Oh shit.
I didn't really stop. I realized I'm a junkie. Right. I was just trading. I was okay. I won't do that anymore. And I moved on to something else. And so I was always finding these little things to sedate myself. And in my head, I wasn't addicted because I don't do a lot of everything. I'm just doing a little bit of here and there. And then when it gets too tough or it's too much, then I go do something else.
Yeah. You're not addicted because you don't follow that image of you being on the corner or in the back alley or whatever. But
yeah. But I almost went to rehab for pain pills. That was really tough. After the surgeries, I went from 190 to 230 pounds in the summer. Like a year and a half. It was bad. And from there, I was just drinking every day. I drank every day for 16 years. Every day. Shit. Like even if I wasn't on drinking, I was smoking weed, popping pain pills, blowing lines. Never did anything like meth or anything like that. But I was constantly, I think what saved me was I remember doing a line of Oxycontin in Rhode Island with a bunch of buddies. Ooh. And I hadn't eaten in the morning. I got fucking sick for 2 days. I was so fucking sick. Almost everybody in that room turned into a junkie, except for one of them. And I have a major compassion for homeless people because I realize that I am one line of Oxycontin away from being them. I understand and I have compassion for them because I just know that I was so close to that happening. And then from there, it was just, I got really stuck with alcohol. I never really partied too much in the blow and all that stuff, but it was more of a balancer for me. I was never up for 3 days, but it was, again, I was constant.
You were allowing the blow to keep you drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in 2016, December of 2016 was the last time I remember I remember having a drink on New Year's, and I was like, I'm going to take 1 year. Actually, I said I was going to take a month. And then one of my friends was joking around. And I was like, man, I feel really good. I think I could do this for 6 months. And he goes, no way. I was always the one buying everybody shots. And I was like, motherfucker, I'm going to do a year. And I was like, oh shit, what did I do? And the year came. I didn't know what I was going to do. My girlfriend decided at the time to not drink with me. And everybody's asking, what are you going to do in New Year's? What are you going to do New Year's? We just open, cloak, and pedal. And I was like, I don't know. And so there was like one way to find out. So they pour me a big cup of 1942 and my manager puts it in my face. And I remember grabbing it. I remember I started crying, and something inside of me told me, if I knew that during the process of the 1 year that I had a problem, what people didn't see was I would go home, polish off bottles by myself. And then I'd wake up with loaded guns, lines of cocaine, pain pills all over the floor, bullets on the ground. People didn't see that. I hid that from everybody.
They saw the party. They saw the fun, Cesar.
So when I started crying, that's what I felt. So nobody else knew that. And I remember crying. I was like, and I had this moment of flashback. I'm like, this is what it's going to go back to if you start drinking, potentially. And one of my other managers comes and he whispers in my ear and he goes, it's all about how you're going to feel about it tomorrow. And I remember I put it down. And I didn't drink it. And there's only been about 2 or 3 other times that I was about to drink for bad reasons. And ever since then, in the 8 years, I haven't had, I don't crave it. I crave scotch and whiskey or like a glass of wine, but it's not something that I'm like fiending for something. I just miss the taste of it. And for me to go back to drinking and to missing a taste and potentially find myself in a worse situation, it just doesn't, it works. What I'm doing for me works. So I just,
So you never went through like a rehab event or anything like that. It was just all you. And then
I did a lot of plant medicine.
Okay.
I've done a lot of plant medicine.
Ayahuascas and stuff like that.
Yeah. I just had a ceremony 2 weeks ago in Santa Barbara.
Okay.
Psilocybin, I microdosed for 2 years every day. Macrodosed on occasions or regularly. And now it's to the point where none of it calls me. None of it, I have some of it in my fridge and it just, I just don't need it. Like I'm clear when I think that the practices and the breath work and the cold plunging, the sauna and the long runs collectively, along with like deep work, supports my lifestyle, supports the things that I'm going through. And I just went through one of the most challenging losses a couple weeks ago. And it was the first time I considered drinking. It was like there was a thought and I wanted to go to a bar and get fucked up. But I knew that if I did that, like people were going to have to come look for me in 2 days. Right. Because I was ready to go ham. I was ready to make some calls. Yeah. And at the end of the day, when you're grieving, there's no easy way to grieve.
Just grieve.
And it was a tough loss.
Yeah, it's not. Grief is never linear.
Yeah,
it's never timed.
Yeah,
it's never easy. And it's people equate it to a roller coaster. I said, fuck that. It's a roller coaster. It's like being a roller coaster without being strapped in. Yeah, and that's the truth. And so it's like a never ending roller coaster. And I always tell people that are going through grieving processes, first and foremost, the first thing you got to remember is to be patient with yourself. And it's okay to feel the way you're feeling today. And so many times that us as human beings, we go through life and we just want to be happy. We want to feel good. But you know what? You never know what feeling good feels like unless you know what feeling like shit feels like. Yeah. Right. And so you got to have both the yin and the yang, and you got to be patient in those times of the shitty part and go, okay, there's going to be something good at the end of this. Right. And I like you, gone through so many losses, major losses, and abrupt ones. It's nothing that I even saw coming. It was like always when I lose something very close to me, it's usually like unexpected. Right. And now I don't say I'm a pro at it because it still fucking sucks. Yeah. But I know the things, to your point, I know the things that I need to do to get me back to center. Yeah. And I wouldn't say back to normal because there's no such thing, right? Back to center, back to that point where I feel good about myself. And those are the things that I really got to focus in on every single day. Otherwise, you end up back in that bottle. You end up back at that pipe for me. You end up back at whatever it is. I find it extremely powerful to hear your story about how you came across bankruptcy, how you came across all these things. And the one thing that stands out to me is you're an addict. And we had another friend of ours talk to us about addiction. We had a whole episode on addiction, and we talked about how addiction is always looked upon and frowned upon in so many ways. Like, oh, you're just an addict. Like, you're a piece of shit. You're this, you're that. I'm like, fuck that. Addiction is like a superpower if you know how to use it. And so you've applied things in your life, and whoever got you in ayahuasca, whoever got you into doing this, to working spiritually, all this other stuff, the deep work, that you basically put yourself through rehab, yo. Yeah. That's the truth, right? Yeah. And so I've been through several rehabs, and the last one is the one that stuck the most. But now I have this concept of addiction is a superpower. Like, I focus in, I can be addicted to myself, yo. I can be addicted to overcompensating on self-care, fucking my business. I can be addicted to alcohol, drugs, sex, food, all that shit. Yeah. But as long as I'm doing the things that keep me balanced and centered, I'll always go back to being the person that God intended me to be. Yeah. Period. Yeah. So I want to give you that encouragement, because at the end of the day, man, you said a couple of weeks ago this shit happened. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. And just be patient, bro. Like, at the end of the day, dealing with something hard without numbing is fucking brave, bro. Yeah. Especially for people like us that go into a scenario where I know how to fucking make myself right now. Yeah. And it's like 2.5 seconds. I go to the liquor store, I go to the fucking whatever, right? Yeah. I know how to make myself right now. But taking the time to do the shit to make yourself right and be patient with it is way more fucking valiant than anything else.
For sure. No, I couldn't agree with you more. And to be able to have the relationship that I have with my wife, to be honest of how I'm feeling, you know, to say, hey, listen, like, I feel like going and drinking and not feeling judged. Like, hey, I feel like putting a gun in my mouth right now.
That's telling the lie, bro. That's telling on the lie, bro. That's what I call it. Telling on the lie. You're shedding light on it, straight up.
And for her just to love me and not judge me and just make me feel safe. Yeah. And I'm not saying that I was suicidal, but the thought was there.
Yeah. Dude, that's all it takes. There. It's always there. Yeah.
The thought's always there. I have guns all around the fucking house. Yeah. I didn't have guns around me for 5 years because I didn't have the strength to say, or the courage to say that I would not do it. And now I'm like, listen, like, I get to face this and I get to be with it. And yeah, there's guns around the house because I like guns and I want to protect my fucking family. Mm-hmm. So, but it's constant work, and to be able to have an outlet to speak, and for men to speak. Fucking men are failing right now.
Big time, bro.
Men are dying. Men are fucking offing themselves on a regular basis. And it hurts to see. It hurts because I see myself in a lot of those people.
Yeah. I think men are failing because it's not manly to talk about your emotions. It's not manly to fucking talk about and cry. It's not manly to unpack the shit that's fucking dragging you down and open up that fucking ugly ass suitcase and go, fuck, that's what's killing me right now. Yeah. And it's the opposite. I think it's the opposite. Actually, true men will cry. True men will face their fucking challenges. True men will face their reality, no matter how ugly or embarrassing it is. I think it's so powerful that you have amazing wife that doesn't judge you. I too have that. Yeah. But I go back to my tribe, man. I think people that come into my tribe really do talk to me, and I talk to them, and it's unapologetic, man. Hey, I had a scenario recently in the last 8 months, and I went to, it was Father's Day a year ago. It was longer than 8 months. Father's Day a year ago, my daughter says, I'm going to take you out to breakfast. And I said, cool, where are we going to go? We're going to go to some mission something downtown. And I haven't been downtown fucking ever, dude. Forever, bro. And I got off on Imperial, and I was like, damn, this is fucking ugly, dude. There's all kinds of homeless, the city. Yeah. I rolled down my window because it was hot, and I was like, dude, this stinks like nothing but shit and piss in here, dude. Like, this is, like, where am I going? Then ended up like close to the ballpark. Go have breakfast. Her and her boyfriend at the time, or not boyfriend, friend. And we're having breakfast. We're talking, and there was a lot of homeless. And I was like, hey, let me walk you guys to your car. I walk them to the car. I go back to my truck. I sit in my truck, and there's a guy like in front of my truck parked, bro. And he's literally making love to his fucking crack pipe, bro. Mm. He's sitting there going, and 20 plus years, bro, I had never, ever thought. And if anybody out there listening about like having a craving for drug, my mouth watered. My fucking hands got sweaty. My heart started beating like if I had just got off of a run, bro. And I'm like, fuck. I wanted to get out and literally give him. I had $100 in my pocket. I'm like, give me that fucking pipe. I'll give you $100, bro. That's how close it was. I remember fucking getting in the fucking car. I said, fuck that. Got in my car, drove my car, got on the fucking freeway as fast as I possibly could. And I called my wife and I said, you'll never fucking guess what just happened right now. And she's like, what? She goes, oh my God, I can't remember the last time you had a craving. I'm telling you the story because I had to shed light on it immediately. Yeah. Like I had to tell somebody immediately. I had to express whatever emotion, feeling, and I described to the T to my wife. And I used to be embarrassed to tell. My wife knew me before we were married. She knew that who I was. She for years, she didn't know I was an addict. And then she found out that I was an addict. She goes, there's no way he's an addict. And so now for me to be open with somebody like that, it shed light onto the situation immediately. And by doing that, immediately the craving went away.
Yeah. Wow.
And so as you're going through this loss, bro, I'm going to encourage you to like continue to do that to your people, to your circle. Like just fucking let it doesn't matter what it is. Stupid, embarrassing, whatever, right? Just fucking immediately have that fucking speed dial 911 call, bro. Like, because you will trip and fall.
For sure. What's funny is 2 days ago, I woke up, I went to sleep and I was starting to have back pain and woke up at 4:30. I think it was Wednesday morning and it got really bad. It was like fucking 10. And I was like, fuck, this is a kidney stone. I've had kidney stone 20 years ago.
It's terrible.
And I was like, this is a kidney stone. So I got up. I was like, she's like, where are you going? I'm like, I got to go to the fucking ER because the last time this shit hit me 20 years ago, I passed out in the shower. Like I was vomiting on myself. The pain
just shut you down, bro. Yeah.
It's terrible.
And I was like, I need to go. Fuck it. I need to go. So I went and it's funny. And I haven't been hiding it, but I just realized that one of the biggest fears of what I thought was going to be a kidney stone is that they were going to give me pain pills. And so I was sitting there and I haven't shared this with her. I actually forgot about it. It was 4:30 in the morning. I fell asleep and I was so worried that it was a kidney stone. I was afraid they were going to give me fucking pain pills. And I was like, fuck. And I was like, if this gets fucking worse. And that's all I kept thinking about in my head was like, dude, if this gets worse, I'm going to need some fucking pain meds. And then what is that going to do to me? Am I going to fucking fall off and fucking like all of a sudden fucking you're
cutting up your fucking pills.
Your knight in fucking shining armor husband turns back into, that fear. I'm going to share that with her when I get home. But it was a fear and it's always in the back of my head. It's always in the back of my head. I made peace with it. I mean, listen, I made peace with a lot of things. Healing it's never ending. The more you discover, the more you realize like, fuck, like I got so much more to heal from. And as we get older, we're going to grieve like you never believed. Like I still have both my parents. I know one day I'm going to say bye to them. My aunts, my uncles, the people I'm really close to that I spend every weekend with. So for listeners, like there's no better time to invest in yourself now because this shit is going to be a painful fucking life when you lose these people. Yeah. And the best thing that you could do is be the best version of yourself so you could show up for yourself and then also show up for your friends and family when they're in it. And that's why like I said, I spend more time on a weekly basis into my health, my mental being, and my spiritual well-being than I put into my business. Now, given I've worked to do that, right? I've had to make a lot of sacrifices to create a successful business that allows me to focus on what I really care about. But like even recently, I just signed up to go to Wim Hof breathwork to become Wim Hof certified.
Let me know when that happens, bro, because we do breathwork before every one of our competitions, bro. Yeah. We do Wim Hof breathing.
Okay. Yeah. So I've been doing that. Tyler Forbes is one of my really good friends from Breathe Degrees.
Yeah.
He's the one who got me into it in 2018.
I've done several classes with Tyler, bro.
And I realized that these are all everything after the medicine this couple of weeks ago started pushing me towards the last 4 or 5 times the medicine's been telling me, get back into focus on this, focus on that. I'm focusing on that now because I love what I do. I really love creating and business, but long term, I think that's where my heart and my passion is at, is helping people heal themselves.
I think you're still serving people, whether it be in a restaurant or through helping people heal themselves. I think a passion of servitude always comes from within, period. Because I was 20 plus years in logistics and supply chain. Like I fucking hated it, but I was really good at it. Facial awareness is my thing. Like sometimes I want to go into Jeff's warehouse and just reorganize. That's my thing. But I learned early on that I like fixing and making things right. And I didn't realize that I was really good at it, doing it with people. And all my reviews, what I tell this story often, where all my reviews in logistics is, you're a piece of shit here. It was in those words, like, you suck here. And it was all like all the admin shit. And you're really great. And people used to hire me at really great at putting teams together. And I would put the most affluent people together with the most what you would consider non-affluent people, like the throwaways, together on one team, bro. And they would be harmonious. And I'm like, dude, I've been coaching my entire life, serving people my entire life. My wife brought this up to me. You've been a coach your entire life. Remember all those prostitutes, drug addicts, throwaways that you literally mentor and that are still in their roles, or if not better. And I'm like, shit, I've been doing this my entire life. So you are literally doing that in the restaurant industry, but you're not doing it as deep as you possibly want to do it. And that's where it's coming from, in my opinion. I think service is service. Jeff's service, I tell his superpower is like acquiring knowledge and sharing it freely with people around him. Like, that's his superpower, right? And that's why him and I click so well, right? And so I hope you find your path to serve people in the healing process, because you have a gift, my good sir. You have a gift for sure.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. And I know that voice from within keeps getting louder. And I was like, I got to act on this. So
and the universe or God will create it, man. I get so many stories that people, the first one that I remember was like, I heard a voice, you should start a ministry on car repair. And I was at a church, right? And I'm fresh out of rehab, bro. And I'm like, nah, I'm not going to fucking do that. For a while, working on cars was a trigger for me, the smell of oil, because when I first started doing my line, I was a mechanic, right? And so I was like, fuck.
The small things.
Dude, I fucking do. Like, you get me around oil right now, I will fucking no, you got me fucked up. I will be running around on fucking a high five, butt ass naked. Let's go. Right. But I was like, so for a while I couldn't do it. And so I was afraid and I didn't do it. But the voice was like, hey, go do this. And I didn't do it. And a month later, I'm sitting in church and they're like, hey, we got some exciting news. We're going to be starting a car ministry and such is going to be heading it out. I said, all right, God, I got you. Like, now, like, anytime I hear that urge or hear that voice, that voice is heard and understood. And I go, okay, it scares the shit out of me. Because I didn't think, first of all, starting a car ministry was like so small scale. Like, I was just worried about relapsing, but it was still scary. Going into starting my own business and leaving a career that I had built for 20 plus years, that was scary and shit. Doing this podcast was scary and shit, but somehow God put this man in my life and said, here, let me do this. And I think if you have the voice of servitude, just continue to listen to it no matter the fuck what it is. And no matter how tired, you're used to being scared, bro. You're used to being scared, bro.
That's true.
Right? Either whether you're scared of yourself or scared of somebody else or scared of something else.
It's my cue.
Yeah, exactly. Go do it. As long as you're not harming anybody or yourself, go fucking do it, bro. Go do it.
For sure.
No,
thank you for sharing, man. That's incredible. And I hope that listeners that hits home with a couple of people.
Dude, it's been cool, dude.
Cesar, thanks, dude. This has been fun. I figured you guys would kick it off.
Why? Because we're Mexicans and have tattoos. And
that was my first tell.
That's funny.
That was
struggle with addiction. All that.
Addiction. What are you talking about? Just being Mexican. What are you talking about? That's cool. I'm glad you guys did it off. And I'm sorry if Omar's strapped up in your DMs right now.
Oh, dude.
Hey, are you there?
Hey, what are you doing, bro? Let's go hang out.
I just lost my place in your tribe.
Yes, 100%. I'm kicking you out, bro. Caesar's in, bro.
Anyway, dude, thanks a lot for coming up here. I really appreciate it. And good luck with everything that's going on with the real estate and Airbnbs and the restaurant. This is awesome.
Tell our audience before we hang up, where they can find you, your restaurant, all that good jazz.
Yeah, you can find us at 1953 India Street, Cloak and Pedal, downtown.
Okay.
And then the Instagram is Cloak and Pedal, and then you can find me on Instagram at Caesar_ready for all.
Okay.
Something like that. You'll find it.
and be ready for that podcast to be released.
Yeah,
I'm excited for that.
And ready for whatever's next, man.
Let's go.
And I would say that the last thing I want to share is that, again, like, you have a responsibility to yourself. You have a responsibility to yourself to go out and be the best version of yourself. And I hope that listeners know that and know that there's help out there. You reach out to people want to help you, but you got to show up for yourself. We're not willing to, do your work for you.
Amen.
Cool,
awesome.
guys.
Thank you, Cesar.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks.
This has been an international podcast transmission of No Fixed Agenda presented by Bubs Naturals. You can rate, review, and subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you find your favorite podcast episodes. NFA, over and out.